This is Mark Bell, and you're catching me on my 10-minute walk, and today I'm going to talk to you about eating twice a day and how you get in the amount of protein that you need. So in a recent video, I talked about only eating twice a day, and I also mentioned eating 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I weigh about 235, 240 pounds. That would mean I have to have about 240 grams of protein to meet that requirement, right? So that would be 120 grams split up over like 2 meals. But I usually have a protein shake as well, so now we can bring the grams of protein down quite a bit, because my protein shake usually has, I don't know, 50 or 60 grams in it. Anyway, the way that I do it is pretty simple. I have what I like to call a condensed eating window. And for those of you that really struggle with losing weight, I think really kind of no matter how you put it, if you only ate like twice a day and also had a protein shake, so 2.5 times a day, I guess you could say, and you had 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, you end up in this situation where you have to kind of eat a lot. You have to eat a large amount of food to get the protein in that you need. You have to eat kind of high quality food because you're after so much protein. You're not going to get there through donuts, you know? You're not going to get there through pasta. You're not going to get there through a salad even. And so, because of the way that you have to eat and because of the choices of food that you have to eat are limited, you end up eating a large volume of food. It's also not really energy dense. Protein, most of the time, accompanies at least some fat, and so there'll be some energy from fat, but protein in nature, except for in like nuts and except for in milk, doesn't accompany carbohydrates. So you're just like hammering like a bolus of giant thing of protein. In my case, it's usually steak. Sometimes it might be ground beef, sometimes it might be a hamburger. And most of the time, you know, at least out of those 2 meals, one of the meals is a little bit leaner, usually. The other one can be a little fattier because the fat content just doesn't matter that much, because I'm only eating it in like 1 meal that I'm having a large amount of fat in. So how do I get my protein in? It's actually really easy. Eat like 60 grams or so, 60 to 70 grams in each meal, and whammo, you're there, because of the protein shake as well. You don't necessarily have to have a protein shake though to get there, and actually you would be even more full if you chose not to have the protein shake, because you'd have to eat more food. The reasons why I lay this stuff out like this is because it's supposed to be hard intentionally, because I want you to feel like when it is time to eat, that's actually kind of hard, and that you actually have to kind of stuff yourself. So if you feel like you're kind of eating a lot, that's a great way to feel. That's the way you should be. The problem with the standard American diet is that we eat a lot of foods that will spike our blood sugar, and it will also spike our insulin levels. High insulin levels make you more hungry. You're hungry all the time with a high energy supply, with too much energy, an abundance of energy taken in, without feeling satiated, because we're actually in search of protein. So how do we like short circuit that? How do we change that to our advantage? Well, we can change that to our advantage by utilizing protein leveraging. Having your meals, having your food be protein minded, having your food keep protein the priority. If you prioritize protein in your diet, you will lose weight. Because protein is not a great energy source. Fat's a great energy source, and so are carbohydrates. And when we have an abundance of that energy, that's what leads us to be more fatterist. How do we keep that energy down? Eat more protein. Bring the protein up, the energy from the fat and the carbohydrates over time will come down, because you'll be less hungry, because you'll be more satiated, you'll be more satisfied. And if we're not eating carbohydrates all the time, we're not snacking throughout the day, we're utilizing some intermittent fasting, we don't have our insulin and glucose levels going like this all day. When they go up and down all day is when we get a lot of cravings. And when we're just like, holy shit, man, I'm really hungry. Well, a way to burn off your hunger hormone is through stabilizing your blood glucose levels via not eating a whole lot of carbohydrates, ditching snacks. Snacks are for babies. Get rid of snacks. You don't need them. Not necessary. And if you did have a snack, I would follow it up at the end of a meal. If you really love snacks that much and really want a snack, I would do it as soon as you're done with dinner. But when we get rid of snacks and we get rid of carbohydrates throughout the day, and when we employ some intermittent fasting, we start to kill off the hunger hormone. We start to burn some of that off. Once we do that, we gain a lot more control over what we eat. We gain a lot more control over our decision-making skills. So I think, just give that a shot. 1 gram per pound of body weight in terms of protein. Now, I'll also say this. I don't think that you need that much protein necessarily, but my question to you would be, what the f*** else are you going to eat? So keep that protein high. If you wanted to even consume more food, you can ditch the protein shake, because I usually have 2.5 meals every day. You can also, if you want to eat even more food than that, you can eat vegetables at both meals. But again, just make sure the vegetables aren't accompanying a whole lot of other calories that may not be necessary to your meal. Don't go out of your way to eat like disgusting amounts of fat, but you could have some whole eggs, you could eat some bacon, you can eat some cheese, you could put some butter on stuff, but there's probably not a lot of great reasons to go over about 100 grams of fat in a day for most people, most of the time. I would also say the same is true with carbohydrates. Probably not a lot of great reasons to go over 100 grams of carbs for most people, most of the time. And then your protein, as always, like I say, protein's more stagnant, 1 gram per pound of body weight, approximately. Strength is never a weakness, weakness is never a strength. Catch you guys later.